And welcome to another session of the Judge's Corner. I'm Ron Forstoffel, and today we're going to be speaking about kind of a fun topic. It's something that's fun to play with, and that's creating icon files for use in Windows on a Windows PC. If you've ever had a document you've shortcut to your desktop or web browser location, you wanted a shortcut to your desktop, but you wanted something more representative of the application or the file that you're creating a desktop icon for, and there's nothing really that came with that application. So all you're getting is a Microsoft Edge or a Google Chrome icon as a default, or you browse to change the icon and the default set of icons don't work for you. Well, you can take any graphic file and turn it into an icon in just a few simple steps. And basically what we do is we open a graphic file in Microsoft Photos or Microsoft Paint, Paint 3D, anything that allows you to manipulate and edit a graphic file. And in that software application, you save that file that you've got opened as a .bmp file or bitmap file. And then once you've created a bitmap file, you just simply change its name in Windows Explorer from .bmp to .ico, and it becomes an icon file with that name change designation. So it's a real simple process, and let's see it in demonstration. I've got a single graphic open in both Microsoft Photos and Microsoft Paint, so you can see a little difference in the software applications, but they both work the same. So I have this funny judge picture right here, and it's a JPEG picture. If you look up here in the left-hand corner of this window, it says judgefunny.jpg. That's a JPEG file. Well, all I need to do here is go back to my file here, and I can right click on this in Photos, or I can use this menu up here, but I'm going to save as. And when I do a save as, you'll see this folder down here. Generally, it's not going to give you the I-code directly. It'll just be a bitmap. But for this purpose, for this exercise, since it's given me the ICO option, I'm going to save it as an ICO in the icon files, and boom, we're done. Now, I'm going to open up that same document in Microsoft Paint. Again, I've got a JPEG file, and I'm going to go to Microsoft Paint, and I'm going to save as. You'll see this one isn't giving me the ICO option, so I'm going to save a bitmap file, and this is a BMP file. I'm going to save it in a little different location so it separates from the ICO file, but we're going to save it as funnyjudge.bmp. So now if I go to my icon files, you'll see this one that I did as an ICO file didn't turn out so good. Right there. Looks okay when it's enlarged, but the little graphic representation isn't really that great. If we look at the bitmap file, we'll see the bitmap here retained a little better quality. So let's assume you can't do an ICO directly and you've changed it to a bitmap file. So we want to change the name and change it to a .ico file. And what we have to do is we right click on this, we click rename, and even though it doesn't highlight the .bmp, we change that .bmp to .ico and just save it or hit the return key. Now you'll see I've already got the ICO file, so we're going to change it. And we're going to change it to number 2 since I've already got that file there. It's going to default so I don't overwrite my old file. And if I refresh this, my little file folder should show up. But before I do that with my window, let me go ahead and it's kind of got that same look as the other one where it's a little muffled, but we'll be okay here. So if you go to your file and you want to change a BMP file to a ICO file, you'll see here I've got this cross icon.bmp, and then I change it to an ICO file. And I go to my thing, but I can't find my file designation. I right click on this, I'm going to rename it, but I don't get that extension showing up. Well, that's because of your setting up here in the top under your view settings. To make sure you can change this, make sure your file name extensions are visible. So click that box so that the file name extensions show up, and then you'll see the things such as the .bmp or the .ico show up. And then you'll be able to change those. So I want to show you here what happens when I create a new shortcut. I'm just going to create a shortcut. Let's just oops. Helps if I type the website extension. There we go. We're going to give it that name. We're going to finish it, and it's going to give me that default icon there of the Edge web browser. So we're going to go to properties. I'm going to change the icon. I'm going to browse. I'm going to browse to the location here, my icon files. Actually, I had it in pictures. I believe I saved it. And here's my Funny Judge icon. I'm going to pick the one I made earlier. I'm going to open that. I'm going to go OK, apply, OK. And I've got that icon. Now, it didn't translate through very well, but I could pick a different graphic and decide where I want to move that. But you can see I've got some icons on this desktop that I've made icons for the applications I'm using, and I can find pictures on the file. For example, my YouTube streaming, I use iDrive. I found graphics for those applications and made icons out of the graphics I was able to find on the internet. So that, in a nutshell, is how you make customized icon files. I'm going to delete that shortcut, and I hope you found this particular exercise rather fun and interesting. It's sometimes you get to play around and you find things that work. Some files don't translate to icons well, but it can be a lot of fun to play with those. So again, we open the graphic file in an application such as Microsoft Photos or Microsoft Paint. We save it either to .ico directly or save as a .bmp, and if we save it to a .bmp, we simply right-click on the new file, the .bmp file, and change its extension or rename its extension to .ico, save it. We now have an icon. So I hope you found that interesting. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video. Have a good day.